You're listening to Steal This Idea, the only podcast that's a platinum member of Spirit Airlines.
I guess just steal it. Steal this idea.
Yes, steal this idea.
Steal this idea.
Stop what you're doing right now and steal this idea. Steal this idea. Steal it. All that matters is you're stealing ideas.
I'm telling you right now, you need to steal this idea.
And steal it. Just steal it.
Can I steal it?
Steal this idea.
Yes, steal this idea.
Welcome back, everyone, to Steal This Idea. Scott here, Andre,
I'm here.
sitting across the table with the J-Dog.
Always a pleasure. We love a hot dog on this podcast.
We love a hot dog on this podcast. Maybe we can get J-Dog as a sponsor one day. Probably not, though. If you are just tuning in for the first time, Steal This Idea. The quick and dirty is that me and Andre, we have genius ideas. We're basically a think tank, and we've been approached several times to start up a think tank for multi-billion-dollar corporations. We've chosen instead to give these ideas to the people and to let you guys run with them. So you're completely free to steal any of these ideas. We kind of flesh them out, go through lots of fun little things, ideas that have been marketed towards us, breaking down good and bad ideas, stuff like that. So that's the podcast. And let's just get right into it, Andre. We're going to start with our first segment, which is good idea, bad idea. Andre, kick us off with something you've been pitched to.
So many things lately. The thing I want to talk about the most is, and I sent this to you, Scott, is the first AI diary app, which...
This is Reflectly?
This is Reflectly, Reflectly.app. Interesting concept. I think that ultimately, though, I land in a place of your diary is supposed to be like the most personal thing that you own. And what possibly could machine learning, artificial intelligence offer? It's marketed as the world's first intelligent journal, to which I say, did I ever need my journal to be intelligent? It's kind of a one-way talk track.
Is there something specific that's like, is there some hook that they have? I can't really, when I look at this, I see,
Buzzwords.
I guess it can like track your location and track the weather outside.
It looks like you maybe feed it a couple data points, like how you're feeling each day in a numeric scale, and then maybe it draws out some sort of
score.
Mercury is in retrograde kind of thing going on.
Reflectly, huh?
Yes. It's not a good idea. It's kind of where I'm headed with this.
And this was on
my Instagram heavily for a couple of days. I think that they had like $200. And they just targeted Utah, 18 to 25, hard.
What's interesting is that I actually do have a desire for a journaling app, and I've looked for this because I'm not somebody who writes journals very well. I would love, kind of in the Martian where he's like just talking to a camera. I would love some very simple thing that just prompts up, say, hey, tell me what's on your mind, and I could just record myself without having to do a whole lot of legwork, and it doesn't just store into my photos thing. It just stores in the cloud or whatever. I would love something that was very intuitive that I could just speak into and talk through my feelings as a journal, and then kind of go through that. But
I think that would be great. Picture you've seen the Facebook portal or the Amazon show.
Yes.
Something where it actually recorded my face. Because I had a New Year's resolution this year, which I did not stick to, which was that I wanted to record a short video every day talking about something just to kind of have that memory piece. Didn't stick to it at all. But if Alexa was like, hey, what was the funniest thing that happened today? And it was just kind of a random prompt each day. And then track my face so that I could go back and watch the whole year of 15-second, quick, funny prompt stories. That would be a really good app.
Yeah, and it was just if you had some really good story, you could just you tap one button and just it automatically. You don't have to go and sort it and
log in, two-factor.
Yeah, and it's just write down what happened and then record yourself. Because that's the thing. The closest thing I could find was an app called Journey, which was more like a regular diary app, but just happened to also take video.
Yeah,
but that's not what I want.
No,
I want video first.
Vine.
Yes,
but my journal for the year.
100%. So that's Reflectly, I think you
led us into a way better idea than what you currently have.
The one I've been seeing often, and maybe you've seen this, is ButcherBox. Have you seen
ButcherBox? I'm gonna guess. I've never heard of this.
Sure.
I'm gonna guess it's a monthly subscription box that sends you a cut of meat.
That is exactly what it is.
I'm a genius.
It is it seems like it's a host of meats. It's pork, it's chicken, it's steak, it's bacon, it's hamburgers, right? I don't, in theory, hate the idea of this
Me either, really.
because as I've grown and matured, I find myself more and more going to the actual butcher deli in the grocery store and asking for that.
Right.
That's a pro tip right there. Like, never buy bacon just from on the shelves. Go to the butcher. It's like 50 cents more, and it's like nice, thick, premium, peppered. It's much better.
Quick interjection. At what age do you feel comfortable going to the butcher counter?
That's a good.
I'm 25 years old.
It's a little,
I can't. I have to send somebody else up. I get nervous. I don't know what questions they're gonna ask.
They can't, because sometimes they look at you like, yes, like you've ruined something they're doing because they're cutting stuff. You're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. They are nicer than they put off. I would say. I think once I had, because really what it came down to is, as I started having kids, I started making breakfast a lot more.
Yeah.
And making a lot more eggs, a lot more bacon, a lot more stuff. And I was unsatisfied with the amount of bacon, the quality of the bacon that I was cooking. So I want to get something a little bit better. So that's what kind of nudged me into communication. So once you have your first kid, or once you are in that stage of life where you're like, you consider yourself an adult, maybe 30, late 20s, maybe. Anyway, I don't hate the idea of this. My only problem is it's kind of the problem with a lot of these subscription boxes. It's just like, I don't know if I eat enough meat consistently that if ever there comes a time where all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to cancel this. I forgot to pause this. I've got too much meat now. So I envision myself 100% having a freezer full of meat and being like, this was stupid. Like, and it's meat that
I kind of agree. I kind of don't, because we used to do Blue Apron at my house. And we never cooked the meals, but we obviously would freeze the meat.
Yeah.
Which is a super expensive way to get meat delivered to your house, by the way. And we ended up with a freezer with probably like 7 or 8 random cuts of meat, but we cooked through them.
Yeah.
It just took time. There are worse things than having a freezer full
That's
of meat.
true. It's
sure.
it's not the worst thing. I just like when you can get a bag of 30 chicken breasts at Costco for like $18.
Yeah.
And that can just stay in your freezer. It's like, why do I need that as well as a premium cut of chicken that now
I'm going to freeze anyway.
Yeah.
Which didn't
So
really help.
I'm not going to say bad idea. I think it's a good idea. I think they could find the right, maybe they're already doing it, but I think Butcher Box can find that right angle where, because they do stuff where they're like, hey, you get free bacon for the whole year if you sign up. I'm like, oh, that's like
a perk.
That's a perk. Or like free burgers all summer long. It's like, oh, there's like clever ways to do this.
Yeah. Their website makes me feel some type of way. Like it's a
Their
they got some
website
burgers that look so freaking good. I can't even think straight.
Yeah. Do you have any more, or do you want to move on?
I have another, or we could move on.
Let's do one more quick one, and then we'll move on to the next.
I really want to talk about this cereal called Magic Spoon.
Yes.
Are you getting ads for this too?
I am.
Every ad I get is this stupid cereal. And I don't know how to feel about it, because on the one hand, I think it looks like cereal for aliens. Like, it looks like Cheerios
From another dimension.
And it's like, they're like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but they look just like these
Weird.
perfect little O's. And
Yeah.
it's very weird. And it's called Magic Spoon, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But apparently it's healthy. And it's like, if you're doing keto, apparently this is like the cereal for you.
Totally. And there was a time when I was like, I used to eat cereal all the time. I'm now, in the dad bod stage. I have to watch what I eat. I just do. I used to love cereal, but it's like really hard to justify. Once you kind of realize that cereal is basically a dessert,
Yeah.
then
That changes everything.
it really does. and so I saw this. It's like, yeah, it's like one net carb for a bowl of cereal. It's like, whoa, that's pretty great. Especially when you can, 2 grams of sugar, 1 net carb. It's like, man, that's killer.
Yeah.
The only problem, and this is, I don't know if you've looked at the pricing model.
I'm looking at the pricing right now.
It is egregious,
It's $10 a box,
which is crazy.
Here's
the thing. Maybe it's expensive to make it, and I just don't know. I can't believe that it is. I think they are capitalizing on, like, it's gluten-free, therefore we charge more.
Yeah.
If someone came out with a multi-meal bag size of this stuff and I could just get it, I would buy some.
Yeah. Then we're talking.
Like the Walmart version, the value brand of this, I'm all in on it.
They say it's just $1.39 a bowl.
Yeah.
I have to think that that's a small bowl.
Yeah, that's a cup. That's
Yeah, which is not really what people eat.
'Cause
And it does look like it's made of styrofoam. Like it does not look like something humans should consume.
There's
But
another one
great
too.
branding.
There's Magic Spoon. There's another one that is similar. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a competitor out there that's a similar model.
But it's expensive.
If you
I'm sure.
honestly, if you cut the price in half, I think.
Oh yeah, a $5 box of cereal isn't out of the question, but a $10 box of cereal,
no way. That's a full meal.
that's not rational.
Yeah. The reason you buy cereal like in college or whatever is like, oh, I can get a $3 thing of honeycomb that'll last me for 6 weeks.
Right. Well, and I almost look at it as a product where they're marketing it as healthy cereal. I think it's probably closer to more of a weight loss kind of cereal because there's nothing in it. Like it's not that necessarily that it's
Good.
full of much. It's just not full of sugar.
I often talk to my wife because she's a lot more healthy than I am, and I say, I wish there was more of a scale of like healthy for you, neutral for you, and then bad for you. Because I think there's
Exactly.
lots of things like this where like, yeah, this is neutral
Yeah.
for you, which is like, oh, it's not bad for you. That's a right direction, but it's not
Right.
healthy for you. It's not healthy to eat
No,
cereal.
I had this exact conversation about J-Dogs the other day,
yeah,
which is like, is J-Dogs healthy for you? No, it's a hot dog. But it seems better to me than like McDonald's.
right.
It's a hot dog, right?
right. It seems more towards the neutral
Yeah, exactly.
slide. Awesome. Well, I think that's good. What we're gonna do, listeners, we still haven't come up with a name with our idea clan.
Ideal Logs, wasn't that our last one? Which maybe it's sticking because I remembered it. But
I was thinking idea boys, but that's
that's not right.
I don't want to.
That is so wrong.
Yeah. So on our website, go stealthisidea.com. All our episodes are going to be there, but also we'll have a slide of all the products that we review. Whether we kick them or we praise them, they're all going to be there if it's something that like maybe you're interested.
If you want to see Magic Spoon, go stealthisidea.com.
It's going to be there. We'll direct everyone to these fabulous advertisements that we've been getting. All right, now to the main event. And steal this idea. I've been stewing about this one, Andre. I'm nervous about it
I'm nervous for you.
because I think there's something here. I really do.
Okay.
Okay. And there's some of this is like I know that you can't fully relate yet because you're not living in a suburban area with kids. So,
Yet. Okay.
Here's the scenario. You've got some kids, and you've got kids that are hanging out. You go to the neighborhood, you see these kids, they're all going to each other's houses all the time. That was you one
Yes,
day.
it was.
Back in the day. You were just, knocking on
doors.
Knocking on doors. Hey, I'm coming. It's so-and-so. There's Jimmy there. I want to go play with them.
Yeah.
There's a couple problems, especially here in Utah where there's lots of kids. Problem number one, let's say I got an infant in the house, sleeping.
Don't knock on my door.
Little Andre, not slamming on the door, slamming the doorbell. That's a problem.
Right.
All right. So, and here's the other problem is maybe there are windows of the day when it's like, I don't want my kid hanging out with anyone right now. It's family time or
Yeah.
it's homework, whatever it is. So this is the idea. And this is phase one.
I got it.
The product's called Marq-E,
Uh-huh.
E being capitalized.
I knew it. The second this story started, I knew that this is where it was headed.
Okay. So Marq-E is about the size of a Kindle Fire
Uh-huh.
and it's closer to a boogie board. Goes
It's a
right
no-brainer.
in the middle of your door.
Yeah.
Now I'm leading you into this is the kid scenario here, but there's more applications than just kids. So this serves as basically a electronic doormat of sorts, where you could send a very clear signal to anybody coming to your door what you want them to see, right?
Yeah.
So for kids, it's obvious. I mean, you could have a very red, yellow, green type of scenario. If it's green, come on in. If it's yellow, knock. If it's red, don't knock, right? Very easy to teach that to kids. They could see that. It makes sense. On top of that, yeah, you could send messages. And I think all it's Bluetooth enabled. It's all by your phone. It's all one touch. So I open up the app on my phone. I have 10 preloaded messages that say, come on in.
Yeah.
That say, not here right now, whatever it is. And they last for a duration that you set, lasts for an hour. And then after that, it just kind of reverts back to we're the Knutsons or we're the whatever's,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So there's this kid factor, but also just general people, right? Like if I'm out back, we're having a barbecue, come on in. I don't want to like write this on a piece of paper. I can just push a button, take your shoes off, please.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's lots of applications where you're saying if you're Amazon, right? Put the package
Yeah.
behind
Put
the
package
behind the
under
planter.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, right? So you know, or you have a 5-minute thing. Is this is the door code? You know, someone's there, right? The price point here is I'm thinking $49, just under $50.
Yeah.
It's less expensive than a Ring doorbell, which yes, you have the 2-way and it's great. That has its own utility, but this could, I think, go in tandem with that or replace that. You know, be kind of a cheaper cost in there. And again, the technology, the screen wouldn't have to be amazing. You could get the cheapest.
It just has to display a message.
Yeah, I mean, a step
It's not
up.
for watching Netflix.
Yeah, it's a step up from a boogie board and a step down. You know, maybe like a photo.
Yeah.
Those e-photos.
Right.
Marq-E, what do you think?
I'm obsessed. And so Scott, earlier in the week, he's like, I have a big idea, but I think it's going to be the first one that's kind of a dud. I actually think this is the best one yet. And here's the evidence, though, is this isn't just like me talking. Where I think the use is you're way off base with the pitch that's like the neighborhood kids wander around and they're like, it's green, I can go in. That's like the dumbest use. But what is so much more powerful is like, the ability. I had this thought last night. I ordered Crumble cookies to my house. Crumble, which should be a sponsor of this podcast because I've now mentioned them twice.
100%.
I was thinking to myself how awesome it would be. I didn't want to text the driver and be like, you can just leave them on the doorstep. Just felt weird to do that. But I was thinking like, I don't want to get out of bed right now, but I do still want those cookies. I wish that I could just have a note be on the door right now that says leave on doorstep.
It has a $5 bill that says, keep the change, you filthy animal, with the guy from Home Alone.
It would be awesome. And I think, but then when it's not being used for a message, it says my house number, which is really hard to find on my house.
Yes.
And it's illuminated from the street
Yes.
for deliveries and people finding my house. The other use is if you've used Uber or maybe even Lyft in the last 6 months, there's a recent feature on Uber where you can hold up your phone and it's like a color and the driver is looking for the color to find you.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm thinking like you're having a party at your house. You're like, go to the house with the green light on, right? And it's like, okay, I know that I'm at the right place.
Yes.
Messages like, come on in, we're upstairs, or come to the backyard. It's a party.
Yes.
Come in. And then that's like for an hour. And then it just reverts right back to your address.
Even just, you know, there's scenarios like say you're gone, but you know that somebody may like just putting hey, text me if you need to get a hold of Scott, text him. Here's my number.
Yeah.
Something like that, like super valuable. You know, sometimes like we'll be doing something and like my parents or like an in-law will come over, but we don't really know if it's an in-law, but like, oh, the reason they're coming over is important. Like I'll stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But if they're just like in the neighborhood or like whatever, you know, so there's being able to like communicate a message
to somebody at your front door makes sense. Baby asleep, don't ring doorbell.
Yes.
I think there's a use. I think that at the right price point, it's kind of like
it's got to be under 50 in my mind.
But it's just a cheap iPad, essentially. It's like the cheapest possible tablet.
Because, I mean, Fire tablets sell for like $70.
Yeah,
if that.
That sounds about right. So you have to imagine if a Fire tablet's that much, then there's a brand below even a Fire tablet.
Totally.
That you white label and you put like your software on. It connects to an app.
Yeah, so
you're just pushing messages and you're setting your default message.
Yeah, and I really love the idea. Like, I open up the app and seriously, like, they're like big blocks that, like, in 2 seconds I tap it and I don't think
and now
about
it's
it.
showing this.
Yeah, like at some point I might customize. I want this to be for 2 hours and I want this to be for 5 minutes or whatever. Maybe I want to draw something or maybe put a funny meme or whatever. I mean, there's some fun flavor there.
I just feel like Jimmy's birthday party.
Yes.
And the sign is fuchsia, and then on the invite you're like, this is our address, look for the sign, right? And it's like, can't miss it.
Totally.
Super easy. Not a bad idea. Pitfalls, I think.
Battery is the tough one.
Yeah, is it? I mean,
so it's
like these. We have. I'm doing the thing where I said I shouldn't use my hands, and then I immediately use my hands. So we have at the office, like basically iPads mounted to conference rooms to indicate availability. They're hardwired. I mean, I'm sure that a similar setup could be accomplished.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
That's harder.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it might be because I know they have some security cameras, some Anchor security cameras that basically last for like a week at a time, and then you basically have to charge them for like an hour or something. And so, like, if you could find the right, because that's the thing. Again, this is limited.
Yeah.
It's a Bluetooth. It's a screen. You don't need any storage, really.
Yeah.
You don't need any advanced anything. you know, and
I'm just thinking like in my entryway, I have an outlet,
yeah,
and like if I could suction cup or whatever the adhesive an iPad to the window,
sure.
then I could plug it in.
Yeah, I can kind of come
that
through the
might be
window there.
an
Yeah.
option. I just feel like this product, which is pretty low value, like it's just
Sure,
it's not
don't-
life changing. It would be really easy to be like the first time it dies, you're like, oh well.
If it falls over in a windstorm, it's like, I'll just get a new one. I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly. And you don't want that, I don't think.
And I think it's a good not stocking stuffer, but it's like you could give this to grandma, you could give this to like anyone,
Housewarming
any
gift.
homeowner.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an easy like, oh, welcome to home. Like these things are great. You know,
Totally. There's
feeling really good
a
about this.
point there. I really, really don't hate that idea.
My wife's gonna feel really good about this because this was like kind of her idea.
Really.
And I was like trying to flesh it out with her. I'm like, I'm worried Andre's gonna say it's not
Yeah.
practical enough, but
No, I think it's
I
practical.
swung you.
I think that again, the box definitely isn't the neighborhood kid availability alert system. That's like the dumbest value prop for it.
But that's an easy way to market it.
Yeah,
Is like
it's
towards
as a use case.
sure,
I think the easiest way to market it is actually as like an electric address sign.
sure.
That really is.
Ideologues, you
Let us know your feedback.
yeah, you let us know what you think the best go-to-market strategy for. I love the name Marq-E, but that's the other thing I was gonna say. It's Alexa enabled,
Yeah.
and you could say, "I'm washing my hands." Alexa, tell Marq-E I'm busy, and all of a sudden scribbles that out. So someone knocks or whatever.
I get it.
I'll be there in 5 minutes, or I'm in the bathroom or whatever. Like
I get
Alexa enabled. That's money.
There's a real product here.
Somebody make it, please.
Steal it.
Steal it. All right, let's move into some speed round. Andre, I think you have some from some leftovers from last time and maybe some new ones here.
Oh, definitely. Okay. I have a couple items for speed round,
Okay.
a couple of leftovers, and really these are maybe closer to things I just want to get Scott's thoughts on and our audience's thoughts on. Are these good ideas or bad ideas? I think.
Love it.
And they're not products. So the first one is listening to podcasts and books at 1.5 or 2x speed. I've seen this a lot, which is
Yeah.
like Jacob, who I occasionally carpool with, will listen to a podcast at 1.5x speed for the whole time. We did it like on a trip to Vegas. And what are your thoughts?
I have a feeling what your thoughts are. I would say I could see there being a small sliver of like, yeah, if you're listening to something that is a bit of a grind, like the scriptures, like the Bible, you know,
That is so sacrilegious to be like, I'm putting this on 2x speed and I'm going to just let it.
you know, or like something that's like strictly informative. But like to me, part of the podcast is the nuance in the conversation, is the banter, is the cadence of voice that the hosts have, and like you lose that a little bit when you speed it up. So yeah, I'm gonna say
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
No, me either. And I think that the issue that I have with it is it's just obviously it like is not good for the medium of audio.
Yeah.
But also I just feel like it's a sign of the apocalypse that like we're consuming information at such a rate that we can't even listen to human speech at a normal pace. Like
It's
we
like,
need
hey,
to
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
record you and then just speed it up so I can get through what you're saying faster.
Yes, exactly. So I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like we're just so hungry for information that even the default brain state is now too slow for us. It scares me.
That's funny. That's a good point. Yeah.
This is common. I looked this up. There were a lot of articles talking about this. A lot of people think it's evil.
Yeah, I don't know about evil.
It's evil.
I get being like, yeah, I don't think it's the healthiest thing you can do. I think it detracts from the experience.
Yeah.
So
It's not evil, but it's, I don't know. I would
Misguided.
just say like maybe think
think about the
what's going on in my brain that makes me need to listen to this at 2x.
think about the implications of that desire.
Yes.
Maybe you need.
Don't train your kids on 2x. Right.
I got one for you here. What about the Nintendo Switch Lite?
I told Scott yesterday that I was going to buy this, and literally a group of people laughed in my face. So here's the situation. I have a Switch now,
Yep.
a regular old Switch.
Me too.
I actually have another Switch. This would be my third Switch, but I like the color.
And
I like a
to be fair,
compact
the
unit.
reason you have two is because you were gonna.
I had a whole situation.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. I like the idea of one that would just live in my backpack that I would always have.
Sure.
That would never come out. And that's one cohesive unit and not like.
The slidey and slidey.
Yeah, and it's a
outs.
little bit smaller and it's in the fun yellow color.
Here's the reality. I play my Switch in portable mode 90% of the time. I almost never play it on full screen. I know some people, it's like they dock it and that's what they do.
And I dock mine a lot. So I think that's where we're different.
So, but like this is to me when I pitch people on, again, I'm a married guy with kids. I say what's great about the Switch is that instead of getting yelled at by my wife playing Xbox downstairs in the gaming area, I can bring my Switch into bed next to her and she can read a book and I can play Switch. And when she has,
And it's all
and when
fun
she
and
wants to
games.
talk, I can pause it and we can talk. And it's like she's a lot more okay with that. I'm sure she's listening to this being like, no, I'm not. I hate all of it. But like I know she would prefer that over me being out of the room.
Yeah.
You know, with her. So like I think this is like
There's a use.
I think this is pretty cool. The fact that it plays all the same games, like I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, so it's being argued that it's basically the end of the 3DS.
Which I think
and
that's-
all their handheld consoles, which is great. So if you're going to do that, then end it, right? And then make this console available, and then I'm going to buy it in place of my next 3DS, which I'll probably do for.
I will say that the stigma, when I see somebody with 3DS in the airport, I'm like,
It's just
nerd alert.
It's like it's.
But when I see some of the Switch, I'm like, and that's, you know, props to their marketing. Like they've made
Yeah.
it kind of cool and fun, and like it's not weird to have a Switch. And so like I think that's a smart strategic move on Nintendo.
I'll buy one. I definitely will buy one.
You got one more?
Yeah, this is older news at this point, but I still want to talk about it, and maybe it's a greater commentary on streaming platforms. But big news, maybe 2 weeks ago, was the NBC taking The Office to their own streaming platform and off of Netflix, which caused like tears and crying and. People,
I mean, because it's like their number one thing.
it's NBC's number one thing, and it's also Netflix's number one thing, right?
Crazy.
It's a really tough situation, and I think that I don't really know how to feel about it. It's like NBC obviously wants to get a start in their own streaming platform, but what I'm curious about is when that happens, do you say, screw NBC, I'm never going to subscribe to NBC Online, or do you say, screw Netflix, there's nothing good on this platform anymore? Like, who wins in that situation?
Yeah. So here's my problem. What Netflix has done, so they've been doing this a while now, and the value of Netflix to me is this like robust variety that they've been cultivating over like years, right? So it's like as every year that goes on, the stickiness to me of Netflix is that much better because now there's like kid shows and baby shows and there's Planet Earths and there's like all this stuff that like when I'm browsing through Netflix, I'm like, what am I in the mood for? I don't know. And Netflix helps me zero in on that. Whereas like NBC, they might have some great shows, but like
there's a reason there's a reason I canceled cable, and it's
well, and
right?
I think to me it's the reason why Netflix is a stronger platform than Hulu, which is that like Hulu is very much focused on like just TV shows. It like has other stuff, but it's like TV shows. Whereas Netflix is like we are like an entertainment to the point where they're doing Bandersnatch like interactive stuff, and they're like experimenting in a space here. So like I have a hard time seeing anything other than a megalith like Disney Plus, who can come in and be like, you're gonna get our
library is somehow bigger than yours.
Yeah. Like they're about the only company in the world who I think would actually provide a value add of like, okay, that's worth getting. But like, I don't think any other Comcast, NBC, Fox, any of these guys could come in and say like, well, but we have Family Guy and we have Friends. It's like, those are nice, but like, that's not why people get like The Office is not why people get Netflix. It's clearly popular on Netflix because it's something you can turn on, but that's the nature of the show is that like, it's a popcorn show that you can just turn on.
Well, and like one of the best arguments that I've heard this far is, okay, I love The Office. I'm just going to buy the seasons on iTunes, like, right? And I'm just going to still have that content, but I'm not going to subscribe to NBC Universal just so I can have The Office on while I wash dishes.
Yeah.
I'm going to just buy The Office.
Right.
And I'm going to have it in higher quality and I'm going to own it and not have to pay anybody. And then I'll keep my Netflix subscription.
Yeah. I think it's a dumb move. I think it's, All right, we're gonna do a new segment here, and then we're gonna move into mailbag, and we'll be done. So this is a deviant of Steal This Idea, or not a deviant, a variant.
What? A variant.
A variant, not deviant. This is a variant of Steal This Idea. I call it Steal This Joystick. Now, the premise of this is both Andre and I we like to game.
We're gamers.
And if only we had at our disposal, a full suite of Activision or EA to just pick our brains and to create the next, huge MMO, the next huge, $1 million, $1 billion game. Fortunately, we have this podcast. So if anybody working at those companies are listening, you're about to get at least one, maybe two really good game
windfall.
ideas.
This is big for you.
Yeah.
You should be excited.
So I'll start us off here, Andre. Let me tell you this scenario in which I think often I find myself. So I enjoy gaming, and I think my friends also enjoy gaming. But the problem with most games these days is there's a very large skill gap, right? If you played League of Legends or Destiny or some of these games, and I don't play, for you to say, "Hey, come play League of Legends with us," it's like there's never gonna happen.
Literally the least fun thing in the world. It sucks
Bring
for
on-
me and for you.
Yeah. There are some games that are like much more forgiving. I think Battle Royale games have like shown this. Like a game like Fortnite, it's like, yeah, anybody can play. And like, if you like have like the general idea of shooters, like you can, like I've made it to the end of Fortnite and I'm like not the best at shooters, right?
Yeah.
So, so this concept of like a game that anybody could play. And I really like the idea of like a 10-minute game. So it's like we're hanging out and there's a group of us that's like, hey, do you want to play a quick round of this? And everybody, there's not the skill gap. Everybody can just hop in and play a quick round. Kind of like Mario Kart. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very approachable. Anybody can just like hop in and like do okay. The game is called Battle Bus.
Okay. So you're ripping off Fortnite to start. Continue.
Yes. But only in that sense.
Huh?
Battle Bus is a game that is kind of like Twisted Metal.
Okay.
There's this game called Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Yes.
Have you played it? Mm-hmm. So what's great about that game is it's like it's this 2D ship,
Yeah.
and like everybody like hops on a gunner, and like you go through this kind of Space Invaders-esque type mission, and it's very fun. Everybody I've
It's
played
great.
with loves it.
Yeah.
It's like you pick it up instantly. I want that exact game in a 3-dimensional death match, but everyone is in a bus, and the bus has guns and turrets and missiles, and it's a 4-player match. Everybody starts at 4 corners of an arena, and you say, "Hey, I need 3 guns." Like you can choose a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 bus size, and you get matched up in size. And so if it's just me and you, hey, let's do a doubles bus.
Yeah.
You drive, I shoot. Or I'll be the driver and all of you guys are my gunners.
Right.
And then it's just like as simple as like you just have to shoot the other people. It's like very simple.
Yeah. There's no mechanic. There's no.
Somebody can play a support role, somebody can play an engineering role, a destructive role, right? And it's like very short matches. I think a game like this, it's like got the same essence of Rocket League, quick and snappy and like high energy.
Yeah.
I think would kill it.
Right. And in this world, it's a 2D environment or a 3D?
It's a 3D.
Okay. So, yeah. I think I like it.
And the idea of like you're unlocking, so it's buses, but then there's school buses and there's semi trucks and trains, and like it's very over the top aesthetics, and you're unlocking all these different,
I like it. I think it's a good idea. I think we really like that kind of like collaborative gaming element where it's like Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Yeah.
You're all in one unit.
Yes.
Which is really great. And then different roles is really great. And then a mechanic that's just shoot the other people is real easy.
And maybe there's layers of complexity where it's like somebody could play a more strategic role that's necessary to get an advantage, or there's elements of the game of whatever.
Well, I mean, and that's how it should be. There should be people that are good at the game, even though it's really entry level and anybody can come in and do well. You also want people that optimize for strategy, right? And they're like building buses, have strong team elements.
And there's some element of like you choose where the guns are, you choose exactly kind of like the layout, and that's it's like you could just go with the generic something, but actually maybe if you put more in the rear and more in the top or more whatever, like,
and that's fun. That's fun to do with friends, right?
Yeah.
It's to be like, oh, what if we tried this, and this, and the game's for 10 minutes.
What if we try rockets instead of lasers, and what if we try these guns instead of these? Maybe that'll give us a better edge or whatever.
And the driver, what if you stay on the outside the whole time?
Yeah.
Or what if we go straight to the middle?
What if we wait for these guys?
What
to
if we're
each
just
other?
avoiding people until the end? Like there's a ton of different ways to play that kind of game. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I would play
Battle Bus.
I think I would play. I think couch co-op situation together. It would be fun.
Perfect. Do you have one, or do you want to just go to mailbag?
let's go to my mailbag.
Wrap this up. Okay,
Yep.
we got 2 entries in my bag. The first one is from a lovely lady named Janice. Andre, what do you think about this idea?
I'm ready.
Janice writes in, she says, there should be a whiteboard that saves everything you write on it and then emails that to everyone you want.
I think I like the idea. Did you ever have like a smart board?
I've seen like
It's
a
kind of, I don't know if
surfboard,
that does that, but it seems like a good idea. We often in the business context are like taking pictures of whiteboards.
Totally.
And then I don't think those pictures ever actually go anywhere though. I think it's just like kind of a safety.
it's like, oh, just in
wanted
case.
that.
Yeah.
I
But if
think
it,
that
like-
it would be great if you could like hit a button and then the whiteboard content just emailed. Of course, it's like the technology. Are we there? I don't know how it would work.
To me, I've thought about this because I worked at a company called Lucid Chart, and like they do the online diagrams, and I was like, oh, if there's a way you could like because you're very keen to diagram something on a board.
Yeah.
How could you translate it? So I was thinking if you, to me, the thing that makes the most sense is some sort of like 4 ping sensors on you put on the corner of your whiteboard, then some sort of like ring that goes around your marker.
Yeah.
And like
Which they kind of have that for paper.
yeah.
There's like a live scribe pen.
Yeah.
You're writing on paper, but it's knowing like how you're moving the pen
Yeah.
to then translate the actual result.
So you have
to digital.
there's 4 axes, and then it
Yeah.
tracks the pen, and then like at the end of it, it's just like you get some notifications like, who do you want this to be emailed to, and you send
And
it.
it
and then-
sense. I like that because it would be great to be able to diagram
Totally.
with your hand, which is how the human mind wants
Yes.
to do it, but then have it digitally.
Definitely some engineering work. I don't even know where to start there. You'd have, I mean, I'm sure lots of people thought of this, but I think it's a good idea.
I think start with look up LiveScribe and then just make that, but for a whiteboard.
Well,
It's
and-
really similar concept.
Because I know there's stuff out there. Yeah, there are these like surfboards or tango boards or whatever. That they're huge $1,000
Yeah.
things. It's like, no, I think this is like a couple $100 that you just plug and play into your existing environment. I think that's a better way to do it.
Totally.
All right, what's the mailbag you got for us, Andre?
I'm kind of skeptical on this one, but Scott maybe isn't so much. This was pitched to me by Abe, who says male nail salons, places like Sport Clips that offer manicures and
Oh.
pedicures. I just don't want a manicure or a pedicure, so I think that's why this doesn't connect with me.
Sure.
But people love Sports Clips, so I can kind of see how it's like, what if we took Sports Clips and offered it to different grooming scenarios?
Totally.
I kind of get it.
Here's the thing. Manicures, I'm with you. That's weird.
Sure.
Pedicures, literally one of my favorite things in the world to get.
Really?
Love getting pedicures. And
Why?
because it's basically a foot massage is what
Right.
it is. It's like a 30-minute foot massage, and it's like you're laying down, you're relaxing. They massage your feet. Yeah, they like clip your toenails
Yeah.
and whatever. Like they're not putting nail polish on or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but they're like putting all this wax on and this like they're
You're
massage.
becoming clean.
Yeah, and it's a very relaxing experience. But there's 2 problems. One, it's also a nail salon, so there's a little bit of a smell there. It's kind of jarring.
Yeah.
And 2, it's very much catered towards women. Like you go in
It's
there.
a stigma around.
If you go
of
to a
course,
nail-
a man can go get a pedicure.
Absolutely.
But we can see how some Americans
Sure.
might feel uncomfortable in that environment.
Sure, and especially the more kind of macho man you are, I think there's like I'm not.
Yeah.
I would never go to a even though
I would tell that guy to get over it.
he does need to get over it because pedicures are amazing.
But I see how we start to see a business evolve.
If there is an aesthetic that's
Yeah.
like rustic woods, and it's not just pedicures, it's also a barber's there,
Yeah.
and maybe you can get a nightcap there. You know, like
Now you're speaking my language.
now it's like, hey, instead of doing this meeting on the golf course or in this business room, let's all circle the wagons at this
At the manicure.
at the
I see it kind of being like a
at the
component-
shop. That's what you call it.
Yeah.
You call it the shop.
Well,
Let's
like,
go to the shop.
Like some like Jed's barbershop. It's like
Yeah.
kind of a trendy barbershop situation.
Totally.
I could see this being a like station or whatever at a Jed's.
Yeah, I think you have a whole. It's a what's it called when you it's a pampering for men.
Yeah.
and it's very much in the sports clips vein. I think it could work.
No, I'm not against it. I could see myself doing such a thing. I really could.
Okay, well those are 2 good ideas. GoStealThisIdea.com is the website. GoStealThisIdea at gmail.com or no idea at GoStealThisIdea.com is our email. And I think it's Go Steal This Idea, or maybe it's Steal This Idea 1 is our Twitter handle. Now that I think about it, but if you just search Go Steal This Idea, you'll find us. That's the episode, Andre.
That's all.
We've done
we
it
covered
again.
a lot of ground.
We did.
That was a big
episode.
Lots of ideas.
10 extra minutes
Yeah.
For our listeners. Andre's going to be giving the idea next week, the main course. I think
I've got a good one.
he's got a good one. So tune in next week. Eventually we'll start having guests, but let us know what you think. Let us know your ideas, and we will catch you guys later.